dear students, good morning. I hope you all are fine today. So, with this fresh mood, let us start with a very interesting topic, and that is the light. Yes, you had learned about light in the previous standards, but abhi, like you are in the next standard, you are learning about the same thing. So, you would definitely learn certain new aspects of light in the standard. So, let us start with it. So very first thing, what makes the things visible? So as we are dealing with the topic light, so yes, light is only responsible for us to see the things around us. The thing is, light it falls on the object like अभी आप जो भी कुछ देख पा रहे हो on that object the light is falling. The light may come from the sunlight, or it may come from the light source which you have on in your room or whatever, but the light comes from the light source and it will fall on the object, and from that object it will reflect and it will pass into our eyes, and hence we can see that object. Without reflection from the object, without the reflection of light from any object, we cannot see that object. That is the reason why we cannot see in the darkness. When there is dark everywhere, can you see the objects? No. Why? Because there is no light. Light ही नहीं है तो it will not reflect, of course, and we cannot see the object. But when there is presence of light, that light falls on the object, it reflects, goes into our eyes, and hence we can see the object. So light is very important for us to see any object. Yes, so an object becomes visible when light emitted or reflected by it reaches to our eyes. Now reflection, I said, emitted means what? You can see the sun, you can see the tube light, you can see the bulb. Why? Because those are emitting. You can see the stars, those are emitting the light. So either the object should emit the light by itself, or it should reflect the light which is falling on it. Then and then only we can see the object. Okay, and what is reflection, that you know, but let us see again about the reflection. So when suppose the light which is falling on a polished surface, generally when on a polished surface or on a shiny surface, then it will change its direction. What happens? When the light falls on a polished surface or a shiny surface, the light will change its direction, and this is called as the reflection of light. You can see in the diagram over here, when you allow the torch light to fall on the different material like mirror or a disc, whatever, which is shiny or which is reflecting, or which is very smooth. So on that, so you can see the light which reflects, and we can see that light which is falling on any of the screen. So this is the thing about the reflection of light. A shiny or a polished smooth surface can reflect. Actually, all the subject or the objects will reflect the light, but हम वो देख नहीं पाते properly. लेकिन अगर torch light, when you allow to fall it on the mirror, you must have observed, so it will reflect the light. Now when the light gets reflected, so let us see in detail about the reflection of light. तो हमने क्या किया है, यू कैन सी, ये जो सेकंड डायग्राम है, इन द प्लेन, ऑन द प्लेन मिरर, एक अपने टॉर्च उसके ऊपर, सपोज ये फ्लैश्ड टॉर्च ऑन द मिरर. ओके, द टॉर्च का जो लाइट आ रहा है, विल ड्रॉ इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ रे. आई होप यू नो द रे. सो वी विल ड्रॉ इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ लाइट रे. तो जो like the ray which shows the light which is falling on that object, that is called as the incident ray. Incident means falling. The light is falling over there, so that is the incident ray which is coming. And we will draw a ray where the light is getting reflected. Light जिस direction में reflect हो रही है, in that direction if we draw the ray, then that ray will be called as the reflected ray. Okay, so the incident ray which is coming, and after reflection, when the light passes, it goes in some other direction, we will draw a ray over that also, that will be the reflected ray. So these are the two rays, incident ray and reflected ray. And we will draw a line that will be totally imaginary line which is perpendicular to the surface on which the light is falling. Like here the light is falling on a plane mirror. So this is the plane mirror जहाँ पे light यहाँ से आ रहा है, and it is reflecting in this direction. और हम क्या करेंगे, उस पे एक perpendicular on that object, we will draw a perpendicular line which will be imaginary, and that perpendicular line, that is called as the normal. Okay, so that line is called as the normal. Fine. and you see the incident ray is making an angle with the normal, and that angle is called as the angle of incidence. Or reflected ray is also making the angle on opposite side with the normal. Angle हमको mirror से नहीं measure करना है, always we will measure the angle with the normal. Okay, so the reflected ray is also making an angle with the normal. That angle will be called as the angle of reflection. Okay, incident ray, reflected ray, the normal, which is imaginary line, and the with it the rays are, both the rays are making some angle. Those will be angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So that is very simple to understand, and I hope you have got it. So how will we show the angle of incidence? Angle, you know that in geometry or in the maths you have learned how to show the angle. So angle I, that I for incidence, and angle R for reflection, of course, just the initial letter of those small letters. And so that is it, the incident ray and reflected ray. Okay, and the thing is, the angle of incidence and angle of reflection will always be equal. It will never be different. Always remember, the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, that means angle I will always be equal to angle R. Okay, so these two are always equal. This is a nature, and nature always follows the rules. Okay, then there are some laws of reflection of light. So let us see those laws. There are two laws of the reflection of light. So the first one is the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection, that we had just seen, just I told you. Angle of reflection अगर 30 degree है, sorry, the angle of incidence, if it is 30 degree, reflection will also be 30 degree. If this is 60, this will also be. If angle I is 60, if you are changing the angle of incidence, then you can see the angle of reflection also changes. कैसे करना है? मिरर पे टॉर्च लाइट, allow the torch light to fall on the mirror, और उसको थोड़ा एंगल थोड़ा चेंज करते जाओ. यू सी रिफ्लेक्शन जहाँ पे हो रहा है, जिस स्क्रीन पे हो रहा है, दैट विल ऑल्सो चेंज. वॉट डज इट शोज? दैट as you change the angle of incidence, angle of reflection also changes, such that they both are always equal. Okay, and then the second law of reflection is that the incident ray, the refracted ray and normal, they always lie in the same plane. They all lie in the same plane. What does it mean? Let us see this. For this you will understand this. टेबल पे हमने एक मिरर रखा है, एंड फ्रॉम वन साइड यू आर मेकिंग द लाइट फ्रॉम द टॉर्च टू फॉल ऑन द मिरर, एंड फ्रॉम द अपोजिट साइड ऑफ कोर्स इट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग. तो आप टॉर्च लाइट, इफ यू आर कीपिंग द टॉर्च अलोंग द टेबल, तो लाइट इधर उधर नहीं जाएगा. इट विल नॉट गो अबाउ द टेबल और बिलो द टेबल, इट विल गो अलोंग द टेबल. आर यू गेटिंग? इफ यू आर सेंडिंग द लाइट अलोंग द टेबल, द रिफ्लेक्टेड रे विल ऑल्सो गो अलोंग द टेबल. वो इधर नहीं जाएगा नीचे. सो इट इज in this plane only, like this plane it will go here, any direction, चारों direction में कहीं पे भी it will go, but in this plane only, don't go this or this. So what I mean to say is the reflected ray, incident ray and the normal, they all always lie in the same plane. This is the second law of reflection. Okay, then every day you see the mirror, right? We all have got the mirrors at our homes, and we see into the mirror. But have you ever thought or have you ever observed or noticed कि image कैसे form होती है? कभी curiosity से कभी mirror में देखा है आप लोगों ने? If you have seen, then you could conclude some things, that is the image formed by plane mirror. Let us see how the image is formed by plane mirror. Not the mechanism, but the kind of image it is formed. फर्स्ट द इमेज इज ऑलवेज इरेक्ट. कभी भी ऐसे होगा कि आप सीधे खड़े हो एंड द इमेज इज इन्वर्टेड, उल्टी नहीं. इट विल ऑलवेज बी इरेक्ट. जैसे आप खड़े हो, द सेम वे यू विल सी द इमेज. सो द इमेज इज ऑलवेज इरेक्ट. दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग. देन सेकेंड थिंग इज द इमेज इज सेम साइज एज दैट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट. आप जैसे आपकी साइज जो है वही साइज इमेज में द इमेज इन द मिरर विल शो. या फिर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट आपका हाथ जितना है उतना ही दिखेगा, उससे छोटा बड़ा नहीं दिखेगा. एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट अ प्लेन मिरर विच वी हैव एट आवर होम. ओके, सो वी आर डीलिंग हियर विद द प्लेन मिरर. कर्व्ड मिरर आपने ऑलरेडी सीखा हुआ है इन द प्रीवियस स्टैंडर्ड. सो प्लेन मिरर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. Now that will the image will be same size as that of the object, and the image is at the same distance. If you are standing close to the mirror, आपको मिरर के पीछे इमेज कहाँ पे दिखती है? मिरर के पीछे दिखती है, राइट? तो कैन यू गेट योर इमेज ऑन द स्क्रीन? नो, ऐसे हुआ आपकी इमेज मिरर पे जाकर रिफ्लेक्ट होके कहीं और पीछे वॉल पे वगैरह दिखी नहीं. सो द इमेज विल नॉट बी सीन ऑन द स्क्रीन, द इमेज विल बी फॉर्म बिहाइंड द मिरर. तो आप जितने डिस्टेंस पे खड़े होंगे मिरर से उतने ही डिस्टेंस पे पीछे आपको इमेज मिलेगी. इफ़ यू गो क्लोज टू द मिरर द इमेज विल बी क्लोज. इफ़ यू गो फार फ्रॉम द मिरर द इमेज विल ऑल्सो गो फार. राइट, हैव यू ऑब्जर्व? सो this is the like the ways in which the mirror forms the image. Okay, and the image is virtual. Virtual क्यों बोला मैंने? As I said, we cannot obtain the image on the screen. If we can obtain the image on screen then that is a real image. टॉर्च है, टॉर्च को आपने ओके, टॉर्च ऑल्सो यू विल नॉट गेट द इमेज, बट वी विल सी एंड फर्दर एज वी प्रोसीड टू दिस चैप्टर आपको समझ में आएगा कि व्हाट इज वर्चुअल इमेज एंड व्हाट इज रियल इमेज. तो स्क्रीन पे कैसे, हाउ डू वी गेट द इमेज ऑन द स्क्रीन एंड हाउ डू वी डोंट गेट, सो दैट आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट. बट देन नेक्स्ट इज द इमेज इज लैटरली इन्वर्टेड. आपने अगर राइट हैंड अप किया आपका इन फ्रंट ऑफ मिरर, तो मिरर में लेफ्ट हैंड ऊपर होगा. राइट, सो दैट इज इट इज लैटरली इन्वर्टेड. इट इज नॉट उल्टा, इट इज जस्ट लैटरली इन्वर्टेड लाइक दिस. लेफ्ट विल गो राइट, राइट विल गो लेफ्ट. दैट इज जस्ट लैटरली इन्वर्टेड. पूरा का पूरा इन्वर्ट नहीं होगा. ओके, देयर विल बी द लैटरल इन्वर्जन ऑफ द मिरर ऑफ द इमेज इन अ प्लेन मिरर. दीज आर the characteristics of images formed by a plane mirror. Okay, then let us see, as we were talking about the reflection. So there are two types of reflection. एक है regular reflection, एक है diffused reflection. It is very simple. अगर surface plane है जिस पे light fall हो रहा है, you see the light rays depends, light बहुत सारे rays में आता है. Whenever any light is coming, इट कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ सो मेनी रेज. कभी कभी हम डायग्राम में एक ही रे बताएंगे, कभी दो, कभी चार. ओके, क्योंकि एक्चुअल में जितने रेज होते हैं लाइट में उतने रेज वी कैन नॉट शो, इट विल बी आवर कन्फ्यूजन. सो डिपेंड्स हमको क्या डायग्राम में शो करना है. वील शो इधर वन रे और मोर देन वन. ओके, तो यू सी हियर रेगुलर रिफ्लेक्शन एंड इरेगुलर रिफ्लेक्शन. जब द सरफेस इज वेरी स्मूथ, इट इज प्लेन, तो the incoming rays will or the incident rays will always be parallel. Always it will be parallel. लेकिन after reflection you see the rays are going parallel if the surface is smooth. Okay, incident rays will always be parallel in any case, surface कैसी भी हो. लेकिन depending on surface reflected ray change होंगे, right? So if the reflected rays are also going parallel then the reflection is regular reflection जो smooth surface पे होगी. But if the surface is irregular or diffused, if it is not plane, okay, so you see the incident rays are always parallel to each other, but the reflected ray may go anywhere. You see, क्योंकि angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. और आप देखो, अगर आप वो surface अगर ऐसे ऊपर नीचे है तो जो इंसिडेंट रे है एंड यू आर ड्राइंग नॉर्मल टू दैट, सो ऑफ कोर्स द रिफ्लेक्टेड रे विल बी अकॉर्डिंगली टू मेंटेन द इक्वल एंगल. तो क्या होगा, वो सब डिफ्यूज हो जाएंगे. द रेज विल नॉट गो पैरेलल बट दे विल बी स्कैटर्ड इन ऑल द डायरेक्शन. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन इज कॉल्ड एज द इरेगुलर और इट इज कॉल्ड डिफ्यूज्ड रिफ्लेक्शन. तो इमेज कहाँ पे मिलेगी? ओनली द रेगुलर रिफ्लेक्शन कैन गिव यू इमेज. Irregular reflection or diffuse reflection will never form the image of the object. Okay, so hence we can see the our image in the plane mirror. और जो smooth है and that only we can see the image. Okay, then you can also get multiple images. कभी देखा है आपने, कभी boys must have gone to this salon like even girls, so you can see, and if दोनों साइड में मिरर हो, आगे मिरर होता है and पीछे also to see the hair cut and all, तो पीछे भी मिरर होगा. डू यू सी सो मेनी इमेजेस? येस. सो व्हेन यू होल्ड टू मिरर्स, ओके, लाइक इन फ्रंट ऑफ ईच अदर, तो आप देखो, इफ यू आर होल्डिंग द मिरर लाइक दिस, पैरेलल हो गए, फिर लाइक दिस, तो दे आर मेकिंग एन एंगल, राइट? सो यू कैन मेक, सो आप इमेज कैसे, हाउ आर यू होल्डिंग द मिरर्स? प्लेन मिरर्स, दो प्लेन मिरर लिए उसको कैसे होल्ड करें? दे आर लाइक दिस, 45 degree to each other, they are 60 degree to each other, 90 degree, 120, whatever. So at what angle they are held? पास में नहीं है, although they are far away, लेकिन of course somewhere they will make an angle, right? तो वो किस एंगल पे हमने रखे हैं दोनों मिरर्स, डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट यू वुड गेट डिफरेंट नंबर्स ऑफ इमेजेस. यू सी, लाइक फॉर 45 degree you will get 7 images, for 60 degree you will get 5 images, and for 180 degree you will get one image. And if they are 0 degree, like they're parallel to each other, that means you will get infinite number of images, you see. So this is the magic of the mirrors. Kaleidoscope पता होगा आपको. The kaleidoscope, उसमें 3 mirrors होते हैं which are kept in a triangle, right? And you would get different patterns of it. Yes, and you can keep something in that. Colored stones रख दो या फिर okay, so that you will get some pieces of colored glasses and all, and you will get different patterns. Okay, you can also make it as, it's very simple to make. Just the 3 mirrors are kept at 60 degree to each other. Okay, and that's it. I hope you have understood what I told you. You all take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay home. Goodbye.